Today I'm going to demonstrate how to do the blind stitch when you're attaching the binding to the back of your quilt. And normally you would use whatever color thread to match your binding, but for today's demonstration purposes I'm going to use a red thread so that hopefully you'll be able to see the stitches as I'm doing them. And I have the thread coming up out of the quilt, and I will take a stitch into the binding right across from where that thread comes out of the quilt. And then I'll pull the thread back so that you can see it. And now we're going to take a stitch right there into the quilt, right across from where that thread came out of the binding. And then let's take a stitch into the binding right across from where it came out of the quilt. And once again, I'll pull the thread out of the way and take a stitch into the quilt right across from where it came out of the binding. Another stitch into the binding. Into the quilt. And you want to try to keep your stitches as even as you can, because even though it's called a blind stitch, you'll still see a little bit of where the stitches were. You just won't see the thread. And then if you do see the thread, you might be able to see the thread there just a little bit. Take and give your thread a bit of a pull, and that thread will disappear. And so here we go again. We're going to right where the thread comes out of the quilt, we'll take a stitch into the binding. We'll take a stitch into the quilt right across from where it came out of the binding. To the binding. And into the quilt. And then you would continue doing that stitch all the way around until you've completed attaching your binding.